From the NXT Women's title to the IWGP Heavyweight title, think about every great championship in wrestling today. What's the one thing they all have in common? The right champion doing the right things to get themselves and the belt over. Now for some that means a simple blend of banger matches, great promos and great character work, but for others it's something a little less traditional. This list is a celebration of just that. These men and women went outside the box, they put in that little extra bit of effort, and in the end, they came out looking golden. I'm Andy for What Culture Wrestling, and here are 10 awesome ways that wrestling champions elevated titles. Number 10. John Cena with the US title Open Challenge Series. Cena took the US title from Rusev at WrestleMania 31. It was a controversial decision because the Bulgarian Brute was still on the rise, leading to the audience lambasting WWE for what they thought was another Cena burial. But the ensuing reign, well, it was pretty damn awesome. Through his Open Challenge Series, Cena rebuilt the belt's prestige by inviting intrigue, opening windows for guys like Sami Zayn, and through good old-fashioned work rate. It worked, and Cena was killing it. Now most people would point to the Kevin Owens feud as the run's peak, and well, they'd be right. I mean, sure, the belt wasn't actually on the line the night that KO actually beat Cena, but hey man, the rivalry immediately got Owens over as a big deal on the main roster, regardless of the final outcome. So Cena, so often maligned for not making new stars, had done just that. Number 9. Lou Thesz, the Traveling Champion. Part of what made the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship the top belt in the sport was the concept of the Traveling Champion, with whoever was holding the strap taking it from territory to territory and putting it on the line against top contenders from all over the place. Recognizing whoever held the title as a world champion was a condition of NWA membership. Territories had no choice but to adhere to it if they wanted to be part of the organization, and if they did, they'd have the champion roll through town, defend the belt, and ideally leave the challenger looking good in defeat. Now though Lou Thesz wasn't the first NWA champion, he is generally credited with minting the traveling champion's role. Taking the strap from state to state made it a special attraction. It was a draw in and of itself, and that disputes sprung when certain territories felt they weren't receiving their fair share of title defenses, well that really says it all. Seeing the traveling champion live was a hot ticket, and they didn't want to miss out on it. Number 8. Nick Aldis, Embodied, his influences. NWA Power's modern take on classic studio wrestling couldn't be more Nick Aldis. The national treasure luxuriates in it, conjuring images of Harley Race, Ric Flair, and other great NWA World's Heavyweight Champions whenever he steps foot in that beautiful studio. Like Flair and Race before him, Aldis treats his belt with the utmost respect. He understands the importance of making it feel like the biggest prize in the game, and every little thing he does, from the way he holds it by his side to his uber-confident promo cadence, is designed to do just that. How Nick presents himself is a big part of this as well. With his impressive physique, perfectly tailored suits, shiny watches, and fast cars, Nick looks the part as a top-of-the-line, prestigious franchise player and someone worthy of continuing the championship's glorious lineage. There isn't a single world champion in the sport today that couldn't learn from what Aldis is doing in the NWA. He is the classic territory figurehead updated for modern palates and a true prize fighter in this oversaturated era. Number 7. Crash Holly took the Hardcore title 24/7. It's easy to be cynical about the Hardcore title and its legacy, but regardless, the belt never felt more important than when it was with Crash Holly. Introducing the 24/7 rule turned the strap into an awesome mid-card attraction that gave purpose to dozens of wrestlers who'd really have none without it. And sure, they were daft comedic scenes all over the place, but guess what? They were loads of fun. It was a hoot, it was a riot, and indeed, a clear elevation for a belt considered a joke beforehand. Was the Hardcore Championship ever a legitimate money-drawing prize? Well, no, probably not, but the excitement and unpredictability of the 24/7 rule made it so much fun. Number 6. Shinsuke Nakamura outshone the main eventers. Shinsuke Nakamura made the IWGP Intercontinental Championship. Taking it from Hiroki Goto in July 2012, his 5 runs took what was supposed to be the secondary prize to new heights. So strong were his performances and his popularity that it was often considered an accolade on par with the IWGP Heavyweight title itself. And it says a lot that while names like Tanahashi, Kenny Omega and Tetsuya Naito have held the IC title since Nakamura left for WWE, it has never truly felt the same. Nakamura's biggest vote of intercontinental confidence came at Wrestle Kingdom 8, where, in an unprecedented move, his defense against Tanahashi headlined over Okada and Naito's heavyweight title fight. The main event slot was put to a fan vote when Naito had failed to catch on as a top babyface. Shinsuke and Tana won, and while admittedly this had much to do with Naito's failure, that it was even considered in the first place speaks volumes to the great work that Nakamura had done with the strap. Number 5, Tommaso Ciampa gave it a name. While the NXT Championship has rarely struggled for prestige and importance, both experienced gentle dips when Finn Balor's game-changing reign came to an end in April 2016. Samoa Joe, Shinsuke Nakamura, Bobby Roode and the others that followed, they weren't bad champions, but they just weren't as strong as Balor was. Enter Tommaso Ciampa, who handled the strap as if it was the most important thing in the world to him as soon as he took it from Aleister Black. Ciampa's relationship with Goldie was as joyous as it was creepy. The former DIY man treated the belt as if it was sentient. Everything from the way he clutched it to his chest as he walked to the ring, to the way he gazed at it in wonderment while raising it aloft, told you that it was his everything. Ciampa, the madman, rebuilt the NXT Championship as Goldie, with the only regret being the neck injury that brought his run to a premature end. Number 4, Shane Douglas tossed the NWA title. In a classic infamous moment, Shane Douglas threw down the NWA Championship in August 1994, brazenly throwing it away to present the brand new ECW title to the world, claiming that he wasn't going to accept a torch handed down to him from an organization that had died 7 years ago, and vowing to usher in a new era of pro wrestling in Philly. And that's exactly what he did. This, my friends, was a paradigm shift. Douglas became the franchise of the new Extreme Championship Wrestling, his moment of defiance immediately establishing the new belt as a bigger prize than the one he'd vacated. He wasn't wrong when he cited the NWA's declining reputation, and though many considered the act blasphemous, it was the catalyst for ECW's rebirth as a cult blood and guts promotion. Its new, edgier product providing refuge to those who were simply tired of WWE and WCW and their safer shows. Number 3, Chris Jericho lost the damn thing. Losing the AEW World title within 24 hours of winning it should have made Chris Jericho a laughingstock. Believe it to the most adaptable pro wrestler of all time to take those rotten lemons and make delicious lemonade, turning what could have been a disastrous situation into one of 2019's most endearing and entertaining angles. Somebody took the belt from Jericho's limo while he ate at a Longhorn Steakhouse in Jacksonville. An official police report was filed, and Jericho responded the only way he knew how, by turning it into a storyline. A victim of grand larceny, Jericho's worldwide investigation was a viral smash. As he'd done so many times before, the Canadian created meme after meme after meme as the belt stayed out of his possession all the way until the 4th of September, when the belt was finally recovered from the side of a road and then returned to its rightful owner. A tremendously effective way to spin what should have been a PR disaster, this kept AEW, Jericho and the title in the headlines for weeks. Number 2, the NXT Horsewoman broke the stigma. Bayley, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks and Charlotte Flair will all be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame someday, having each played a massive role in dragging women's wrestling in WWE out of the Divas era and into the future. Their superior drive, work rate and performances created a movement, and an important step of this was Banks versus Bayley and their feud and their match at TakeOver Brooklyn. That one still stands as one of the finest in NXT history. It was the ultimate emotional high point for a scene on the rise, and while Bayley hung around in NXT in the aftermath of her 3 cohorts elevation, the others continued their important work on the main roster. Lynch, Flair, and Banks worked a triple threat at WrestleMania 32. That night, the old Divas title was scrapped, replaced by a brand new Women's Championship, which marked another important moment in surging back towards respectability. This meant something, and sure, it would take a while longer for the stigma to be completely eradicated, but it may not have happened without the Horsewoman. And at number 1, Brock Lesnar made it an attraction. While there's merit to the argument that part-timers shouldn't hold WWE's top belts, Brock Lesnar is Brock Lesnar. Ronda Rousey aside, he's the biggest mainstream star on the roster, one of the few still capable of moving the needle and drawing money on his own, and he's also the most believable pro wrestler ever. Him skipping a bunch of inconsequential Raws and C-level pay-per-views isn't ideal, but it's a small price to pay for his benefits. Lesnar is a guy who simply can't be oversaturated. It's literally impossible, and that makes him unique in WWE. That he doesn't feature every single week makes his appearances feel special and meaningful. Brock is a top attraction, and so is the belt. Rather than hindering the WWE product and undermining the top prize, his schedule actually enhances it, and Brock has become this universe's Thanos as a direct result. Friends, the problem isn't that Lesnar isn't around every week. It's that WWE haven't adequately used his star power to create new headliners. This is a big issue, but it's an entirely different conversation. So that's our list, but what do you guys reckon, and can you think of any others? Let us know down in the comments section below, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. Then, you can follow us on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE and myself at Andy H. Murray if you want to tell me how wrong I am. Bye!